You were kind of overwhelmed with the list of tasks that you all are expected to do every day. How many were overwhelmed? Okay. And then, all of a sudden, management comes to you and they go, oh, by the way, you know, our activity director does this, this, and this, but you're going to need to help with activities as well. How many of you went, what? Are you kidding? I already do so much. What? I can do activities too. How many of you felt that way? Yeah? No? You guys were just okay with that? How many of you enjoy doing the activity part? Yeah? Okay. How many of you would rather not have to worry about that? Okay. Because what happens usually with caregivers is usually you are either real task-oriented personalities where you really like to get in there and get those tasks done, or you're more social activity types of personalities where you, instead of getting that task done, you'd rather have a conversation with that resident or do some kind of arts or crafts or something like that, that's really your preference. Do you feel like your personality fits in one of those two places? Yes? No? What I'm going to show you today is there's a way to combine those skills so that while you are doing the task, you are doing an activity, especially with someone with memory care, that is in memory care that has some form of dementia. What I want to show you is that you can move from that task. While you're doing that task, you can actually turn that task into an activity where you both feel like you are accomplishing something other than just the task. So let's get into this, because this is dedicated to all you caregivers who have struggled to find ways to engage someone with a memory challenge. And it's based on what we have learned over the past years from clients and their families, and help those that are still struggling a little bit with how to engage someone who has a memory challenge, and how you can keep trying until you find that emotional button that works. So, we want to share fond memories with them, and we want to spend quality time, and those two things right there are also activities. Now, is that bingo at 3 o'clock? No, that's not bingo at 3 o'clock, but that is still activities that should be going on all day. So, we want to get past that struggle that we always have to stay connected, to stay engaged, and to stay active. So the way that this works is that we at all times are either talking about something with our residents, or we are doing an activity. So communication is an activity. And then there are activities that you actually do hands-on. Help them with their grooming, comb their hair, whatever it is. Help them shave maybe. And you are talking about one of our themes or a theme that is familiar to them, and you have a nice conversation and connect with them, then that is an activity. That's a social emotional activity. So you can count that as an activity. So you can see how you can start to spread out these activities so that they are always engaged throughout the building, even if they're not playing cards at 3 o'clock. Okay? And that is especially important in memory care, isn't it? Because do those in memory care come to group activities as a group, participate in group activities, and then go back to their room after that group activity is done? Does that work real well? Not all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 it's happening with a group activity, but not all the time. And so it's really difficult if you all are in the midst of doing a meal, you're getting ready for a meal, and all of the memory care residents are lined up waiting for their meal, and they're not really engaged in anything. They're just sitting there. That is a wonderful opportunity to do something that you can talk about. So we'll get into that. But that's an opportunity for you to do an impromptu activity so that they are not just sitting there. Maybe it's putting on Jack Benny Christmas, the radio show. Maybe it's singing songs with them for those few minutes. But it is definitely not, here's the calendar, and at 3 o'clock we sing songs. that might not work in memory care, will it? Because they can't be on that kind of a schedule. So that's the direction we're going to go today, talking about all of these different activities. And then the exciting part is that you can all start to own this, because you will get those meaningful activities, and you will find with each client that there are activities and communication that works better with each of them. And I'm going to give you some examples that I've already seen happening all throughout the building. So, and last month we had the theme of planes, trains, and automobiles. And twice when I was down giving a tour, I witnessed the caregivers that were utilizing that. I witnessed them to have extremely wonderful, meaningful moments with some residents. So one of our residents, he has Parkinson's, and he was sitting like this. So I asked that resident, I said, have you ever been on an airplane? And I got this response. Now before, if I asked him, I would usually get, yeah, how you doing? No, not so good. But I said, have you ever been on an airplane? And it was the most magical thing, because he did this. I was the captain for TWA. And his eyes got bright as could be. And I connected for that moment. So we made him a little clip-on name badge, and it said, ask me, have you ever been on an airplane? And all of us, when we go by him, we'd say, have you ever been on an airplane? And he would go, I was the captain for TWA. And the next day when I went down there, he was sitting there watching the door. He was hoping somebody would come in and ask him. That simple little interaction meant a lot to him. What did that make him feel? Special, valuable, important, like we were interested. Just that was a magical, meaningful activity. Just that simple. And as we go along and we build these themes and we get to know our residents and the things that they do connect with us, those themes, then we can make them a name badge too, can't we?